Hello guys and welcome back to Programming N. And today we will be making a part 2 of our racing game. So right now we have our laps. We already have our laps. We have our driving. But when you can just speed through the green and cut through and get another lap, cut through the green again and get more laps. And that feels kind of unfair because what if like the other player is driving normally and then oh wait, that just happens, right? That would be unfair. So right now, we're gonna make it so that it slows down if you're on green. So the first thing that we're gonna do is take out a green flag pressed block. Green flag pressed. A forever loop. And we're gonna make a variable called P1 time off lap off track. And then we're also gonna make one called P2 time off track. Okay, now that we have those two, we're gonna make it so that we're gonna change it every 1 second. But only if touching green. Remember that. Only if touching green. Alright. Let's take the block. If touching color, not touching sprite. And we're gonna take the color picker, unless you're really good at guessing the exact color, saturation, and brightness, you want to use the color picker to get the perfect one. Alright, now that we have this, we're going to leave this for a bit. We're going to have to make 4 variables. But for now, for now, we're just going to take this, move it here, and just change this to P2 time off track. Okay, now that we have this, let's scroll all the way down and let's add some stuff. So first, we're going to make something called speed. Basic, right? And we're gonna set this up arrow to speed. Move speed steps. And when green flag pressed, forever loop, if then else. If touching color green, then set speed to 3. Or whatever you want. I'm gonna use 3. Set speed to 3. Else, set speed to 7. So let's check that out. We're riding, and then we're slow. But I can go backwards at normal speed. Somebody could use that to cheat, right? So now we're going to use something called minus speed. And we're calling it minus speed because it's literally just this, but with minus as the numbers that are equivalent to the variables. So minus speed, let's duplicate this. Set it to minus speed for both. Use minus whatever number this is here, minus whatever number it is here. You want them to be equal, okay? Alright. Oh, and we want to set this to player one time off track to 0, and same thing for here. Alright. So now that we have it so you go really slow, this one can still go fast, right? So we're gonna duplicate it and move it here. Oops, my mistake. Instead of duplicating it, which you shouldn't have done, you should have taken this, dragged it, and dropped it here. Taken this, dragged it, and dropped it here. So now that we have these bows, let's clean up our blocks. So we don't want them to be the same speed at all times, because one could be on the track and one could be on grass, and there would be this whole problem. So we're gonna make it speed 2. Just set speed 2. Set speed 2. Speed 2. Oops, no. Keep that at minus speed for now. That's the wrong one. Set this to speed 2. This to speed 2. And then move speed 2 steps. Let's test that out. Alright. That's good. So now we gotta do the minus speed for this too. So minus speed 2. If touching color green, set minus speed 2, minus speed 2. And we also want this to be minus speed 2. Alright, so let's organize this. Also, yes, we also need this to... Interesting, what? Oh, player 2 laps. Player 2 time off track. There. So we can hide speed, speed 2, minus speed 2, and minus speed. All we really need is this, player 2 laps, and player 2 time off track. That's the important stuff. So let's move this to the bottom, and this to the bottom. 4 corners. So now we're gonna make it so that if you're off the track too long, you get disqualified. So let's do it with player 1 first. So when green flag pressed, forever loop. If 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 the player 1 time of track is greater than 4, broadcast 1. Player 1 time of track greater than 4. I'm gonna name mine just 1. I don't really need it to be something. Broadcast message 1. Then let's make a new backdrop. I'm gonna make the backdrop just say something plain. Player 1 has been disqualified. Player 2 has won. Okay, that's simple. Let's just put that. Oops. There. So now that we have our message to be displayed, we just need to center it, make it a tiny bit smaller, make sure it fits inside of the page, but it's possible to read. When I receive message 1, switch backdrop to backdrop 1. When green flag pressed, switch backdrop to track 1. Let's test this out. I'm driving. I'm going to stay on the track. There. And let's just change this a bit. I'm going to personally, I want it to be 0.1, 0.1 greater than, and I'm going to do 4 or greater. Okay. Greater, player 1 time off track, greater than 4, or player 1 time off track equals 4, then broadcast message 1. Okay. Slightly long to say out loud, but that's just it. And we want this to hide, because it's just, you don't want a little block to be there. And when I receive message 1, stop all. Just stop everything that's happening. When green flag clicked, show, because we want this to be visible. When I receive message 1, hide. Just disappear. So let's do this. I'm riding around, and the counter at the bottom of the screen is going up. And interesting, it's greater than 4 right now. Equals 4, or player 1 to, oh, I put 50. 50. Greater than 4. There. Now it's fixed. Now all we gotta do is duplicate, no, forgot. Drop it onto the other one. Instead, put player 2 time off track, replacing all of this area. And I want it to broadcast 2. Okay. And then we're just going to duplicate this backdrop. Instead, put it so that it says, instead of saying player 2 has won, we want to say player 1 has won and that player 2 has been disqualified. Alright, so when I receive message 1, switch backdrop to backdrop 1. When I receive message 2, switch backdrop to backdrop 2. Finish line, same thing, we just need to do this when I receive 2. And we also need to put when I receive message 1, we also need to put a little stop all block. So now let's try it out with the other one. Look, this one is not going in milliseconds. And I personally want it to be in milliseconds. So let's go back and fix it to 0.1 and 0.1. And that's it. That's it for our game. Check back next time for part 3. And you can see the next part of our amazing racing game. Thank you. Check back next time.